Hey everyone, and welcome back to this explainer brought to you by Forge College. So in our last lesson, securing your seed phrase, we talked about the scary stuff, right? How hackers, malware, or honestly just plain terrible luck can compromise your seed phrase. Well, today we're going to take all that high-level paranoia and we're turning it into a meticulous, foolproof blueprint for your very first secure wallet setup. We're finally moving away from those abstract concepts and translating them into clear, concrete, actionable steps. So I've got to ask you, are you ready to completely eliminate the decision friction? And let's be real, the sheer panic that hits when you're staring at a screen trying to secure your digital assets? Because if you just wing it, you risk locking yourself out of your own funds, which I promise is way less fun than it sounds. But if we treat this whole process like a strict, foolproof flight checklist, we totally remove the panic. I mean, you wouldn't try to assemble a jet engine or, heck, even an IKEA bookshelf by just guessing, right? Your wallet absolutely deserves that exact same level of precision. Okay, let's dive into this timeline for our blueprint. This structured approach is what prevents those catastrophic human errors. We're going to cover 1. The mental model, 2. Phase 1, the pre-setup, 3. Phase 2, the in-setup, 4. Phase 3, the post-setup, and finally, number 5, dodging risky prompts. All right, kicking things off with section 1, the mental model. To really secure a seed phrase, you've got to stop thinking of it as just some magical, static password. Instead, you need to shift your perspective and imagine it as what we call a distributed key set. And this brilliantly illustrates it. It's like a beautifully ordered string of beads. Every single word is a labeled token, right? And together, in the exact right sequence, they deterministically encode the private key material needed to reconstruct your wallet. But here's the catch. If you swap a bead, or drop a bead, or even just change their order, the entire reconstruction completely breaks. The string snaps. That extreme concreteness is exactly why almost correct simply doesn't exist in Web3. You either have the exact string of beads, or well, you literally have absolutely nothing. Now, because we're dealing with this distributed key set, you have to make a really vital architectural choice for your blueprint up front. How are you going to store these beads? On one hand, you have a single physical backup. Think of stamping the whole phrase onto a single metal plate. It's incredibly low complexity. I mean, if you have the plate, recovery is pretty straightforward, but it's also a single point of failure. Now, on the other hand, we have split storage. This is where you might divide the words across multiple locations, or maybe add a phrase like a 25th word. This beautifully reduces the risk of total loss from, say, a single robbery, but it introduces a massive coordination risk. Seriously, if you bury half your phrase in the backyard and forget exactly where you put it, congratulations, you've successfully secured your crypto from everyone, including yourself. So your blueprint absolutely must explicitly define which path you're taking because each choice changes your verification steps. Moving on to section 2. This is phase 1, pre-setup, focusing on the critical prep work before you even touch a device or a piece of paper. You kind of got to think of this phase like prepping for a delicate science experiment. Step 1, secure your environment. Please, whatever you do, don't try to draft this highly sensitive blueprint in a chaotic environment like a crowded coffee shop on public Wi-Fi while you're waiting for your latte. Find a quiet room, close the door, and turn off your notifications. Step 2, gather your materials beforehand. Grab a permanent fine-tip pen that won't smear, some archival paper or a metal backup plate, and hey, maybe check that the metal plate actually fits the full length of your phrase before you start stamping, right? Then, step 3. Digital hygiene. Run those OS updates, do a quick antivirus scan, and decide right here and now that you will absolutely never use your computer's clipboard to copy-paste your phrase into a cloud app. Just get all of this stuff out of the way early so your brain is 100% focused on the setup. Let's move to and see how this builds in section 3, phase 2, in setup. This is the most critical phase where the seed phrase is actually generated. Okay, here is your precise execution sequence. Step 1, verify your official source. If you're using a hardware wallet, confirm that package seal is intact, check the device serial number online, and verify that firmware checksum. Step 2, only reveal the seed locally, directly on the device's screen. Never, ever export it. Step 3, record the phrase exactly, by hand. And here's a pro tip from the trenches for you. Read the words back aloud in groups of 3 or 4. Do not try to memorize the whole 12 or 24-word sequence at once. It's just too risky. Group them, say them out loud, and double-check that spelling. And finally, step 4, perform an immediate verification using the wallet's built-in confirmation flow. By the way, if you're enjoying this kind of highly structured, methodical learning, there are plenty of other incredible Web3 courses waiting for you at Forge College. But getting back to it, to guarantee you won't make a mistake under pressure, you need to map your actions to a specific verification check. So why record by hand? Well, that's to prevent a digital leak to malware. And how do you verify it? Simple. The wallet accepts your typed confirmation. Why do a test dry run? To validate your backup. And how do you verify that? The blockchain addresses generated actually match your expectations. This exact matrix of action, purpose, and verification guarantees you won't slip up. It's basically your ultimate safety net. Next up is Section 4, Phase 3, Post-Setup and Long-Term Security. Because the mission isn't over just because your wallet is active. You know, a lot of people think the setup is completely done once the screen says ready. It's totally not. Your setup plan actually forces you to think about the future to cement that long-term security. Step 1 is straightforward enough. Put that primary physical backup in a fireproof safe or a bank deposit box. Step 2 is redundancy, so maybe keeping a second physical copy in a geographically separate location. Now, what's really interesting about this is Step 3, the dry run recovery. It's so vital. Before you transfer a single cent, wipe a test device and try to recover the wallet using only your written backup. If it fails, hey, you've lost nothing but a little time. If it succeeds, that's absolute peace of mind. And finally, Step 4, document an emergency plan. You need to leave clear instructions for a trusted contact on how to access those backups if you're ever incapacitated. But remember, and this is huge, do not include the actual seed words in this emergency plan. Which brings us to our final part in Section 5, dodging risky prompts and learning to recognize the traps that opportunistic threats will inevitably set for you. Listen closely, because bad actors know exactly how stressful a wallet setup can be, and they will absolutely try to catch you off guard. So, red alert. If a prompt ever asks you to enter your seed on a website, stop. If a helpful-looking pop-up offers to securely photograph your seed for a cloud backup, run away screaming. Literally abort the mission. If you see unexpected third-party plugins trying to integrate during your initial setup, shut it all down. If you encounter any of these red flags, power off the device, close the session, and verify the official manufacturer channels immediately. Predefining these threat responses is exactly what prevents those panic-induced mistakes. So the crucial point is this. If you take absolutely nothing else away from this operational checklist, remember this golden rule. Record precisely, verify immediately. Because the seed phrase is a distributed key set. Remember that fragile string of beads? Precision is completely non-negotiable. And because, well, human error is always a factor, immediate verification using small chunks and dry runs is literally your only way to guarantee that your meticulous recording was actually successful. As we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with a bit of a provocative thought to chew on before our next lesson on wallet rolls. Will your newly drafted setup blueprint actually withstand the test of a real high-stress recovery? I highly encourage you to finalize your checklist, test it out, write down those backup locations, and decide on your physical materials today. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer brought to you by Forge College. Be sure to visit forge.college to learn more about this subject and to dive into tons of other awesome Web3 topics. Stay secure, stay methodical, and I'll see you in the next one.